Ain't no lie, I'm aiming for the greatest. Niggas always told me I would make it. Man, come on, she loving on the phrase.
YouTube. If you watched the last video, same we're in the same fit because I'm trying to go back to back, like I'm Shaq and Kobe. You feel me? But today what are we watching? Today we're watching Luista Papi, big YouTuber, makes rap content as well. I'll be honest. From some of the posts I've seen on his community tab, it seemed like he was a little bit biased towards Drake. Now, do I know that is true or not? I don't. I'm just saying my opinion. And if you think I'm wrong, oh well, so be it. But today he dropped the Drake feature Curse, which I actually was talking to one of my boys about this a minute ago, and I think it's actually real. But, 18 minutes, let's get right into the video.
For years, people have talked about Drake giving new artists a major boost with a feature, either on one of their songs or guesting on his projects. Because he's seen as putting so many rappers on over the years, it's no surprise that a lot of them feel indebted to him.
I messaged Drake like, he a cool dude, you know what I'm saying? He like, he real observant.
So this has been in a long time.
Me, like 2018, we're gonna make it happen, but we made it happen for real.
But while we all know the success stories of people like Lil Baby and 21 Savage, what happens when the Drake cosign backfires and becomes the highlight of your career? And does that feature from Drizzy come with strings attached? That means you can never escape his shadow.
I'm sorry guys. It is so loud in my ears right now.
From Kendrick Lamar accusing Drake of, quote, running to Atlanta when he needs a
Before we get into this, what do y'all think about the Drake and Kendrick beef? Who do you think's winning? What was your favorite bars? I think it's over. It's been like a week since Drake dropped the last song. I forget what it's called. But I think Kendrick won. Not as big as a margin as people thought. Because if you look at it from like a totality, there was just a lot of just like allegations. And I feel like there wasn't a lot of factual evidence in a lot of the allegations that were made on the song. So comment y'all opinions down below. I'm just curious to see what y'all think, and I'll also post a poll to see again.
$2, and specifically mentioning how he uses his features with rappers like Vulture, 21 Savage, Lil Baby, and 2 Chainz as a way to be more accepted by the culture. It highlights a deeper point that I want to dive more into later in the video. Cause these days, we have rappers like Rod Wave, a top selling rapper with a diehard fan base, and the ability to sell out huge venues worldwide, even going as far as to turn down a feature from Drake.
So that's crazy. Turning down a Drake feature, that kind of just sounds crazy from like a careers perspective, like, in terms of like takeoff and stuff. But not only in the beef, but I hear a lot of YouTubers or just people in general say that Drake is uncomfortable with his skin color and like being accepted by black people. Now, I really don't know. Is that real? Cause I'm very interested to see, like, cause he does do a lot of like, I don't even know, pro-black things. I hate saying that. That just sounds gross. Nah, that sounds weird, bro.
So it's clear that something fishy is going on. But before we get into how things went so wrong, I first need to explain how Drizzy got this reputation as a cheat code for success. By the year 2020, Drake assisted 32 artists to their highest Hot 100 position at the time. This included major stats like Kendrick Lamar, Vulture, Lil Baby, and many, many more. On average, the artists climbed up 19 spots from their previous highest position. Plus, 18 of these artists had never even made it onto the charts in the first place.
Wait, hold on. Let me look at some of the names here. I Love McConan. A$AP Rocky, really? Really? Party Next Door. I mean, he signed Summer Walker. The Weeknd. Oh, they probably... Okay, a lot of these names are probably when they first started, and like he just found them. But you can't tell me this isn't some LeBron James ESPN type stat. You can't tell me this isn't some LeBron stat. Come on, bro. They got the averages and everything, bro. Come on.
They got that Drake stimmy. His peak moment of helping other artists came in 2017 when he brought 7 fellow rappers onto the billboards, or at least gave them a boost. By 2021, he'd appear on 41 projects as a guest since 2015, and 30 times out of those 41, his track had the highest streams on Spotify and YouTube for the entire project.
Wow.
And of course, Drake didn't just let those numbers speak for themselves. He's constantly boasted about these accomplishments on songs like Mob Ties. And now that Drake is facing opposition from...
I mean, shit. It's the Drake effect, bro. I mean, I'm not defending him, but what can you say? People attract to it.
Artists like Future, Rick Ross, The Weeknd, and Kendrick Lamar. During the rap civil war that's taken a hold of the game, his track Push-Ups also hinted towards those who benefited from the stimulus package, with shots like every song that made it onto the charts he got from Drizzy, and your first #1, I had to put it in your hand. Because of the reputation as a hit maker,
put it in your hands is crazy. He basically said, here, you're my son. Let me bless you.
An artist's career, it's meant that getting the guest spot from Drake outshines cosigns from legends in the industry.
A Jay-Z feature is still considered one of the most important features you can get to this day.
To an old head, nah, not in today's day. Yo, people don't care about Jay-Z today. Like, ask a 15-year-old about Jay-Z, they'll be like, Jay who? You feel me? They don't know Jay-Z. Even when I grew up, like, Jay-Z was obviously big and important, but it's not the 90s or early 2000s anymore. Like, people move on fast.
Drake.
This was especially true for someone like Lil Durk, who was famously featured on Drake's absolute smash hit, Laugh Now, Cry Later.
In the studio, right? This motherfucker Drake come through the DM like, see your number. Man, you told me this before. I supposed to be on that compilation he did. Like, like 4 songs. We didn't get on it. So when he said DM me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned as we attempt to commune with the devil.
His number. I'm like, he sent the song through. I called everybody. Are you rich? It's over with. Like, shit. Real.
Yeah, he's black as well. He said we rich. It's over with.
I turned to a fan that motherfucking day. I called everybody. Mama. It's over down. With. I'm finna do this motherfucker. We finna fuck him up on it. And we finna go. And then so we came out. And the song was during the pandemic.
Yup, bro. Lil Durk and Lil Baby, like pre-COVID, during COVID, post-COVID, they had a crazy run in rap. And actually, they kind of carried low key. They really kind of carried. Like those two in particular, like they were going stupid for 3 years.
Straight to 100.
And then it just kept
shout out to Drizzy, man.
Yeah, shout out Drake though. He definitely helped the motherfucker out 1,000.
Praised by so many who got that first taste of the billboard through him, it's one of the few things that, until recently at least, most of his fellow MCs were happy to salute Drizzy for.
I'm the only person that put on for me when I ain't have nobody was Drake.
Really?
I'm talking about Drake was the first person to put on.
And he took his little boo thing.
Sign me. Yeah. He didn't want it. It was like, yo, that's raw talent, yo. Like, you gotta shine, yo. I'm gonna see to it. I forever owe Drake.
Well, that's a little awkward now, considering the recent events that's taken the game by storm.
Right.
But as much as Drake fans like to talk about how he can basically give rappers exposure or even revive their careers, this is only one side of the story. Because for every success for people like Flacco, Savage, or The Weeknd, there are people like Blockboy JB, Sosa Geek, OVO Chinese.
Sosa who? Sosa who? Who is that?
Division in the UK gigs, who haven't returned to the Billboard charts ever since. As for others who kept their place in the game, the problem is that they just failed to replicate the early rush of publicity that came from the Drizzy feature. That's why when the new artist Forbats got a collab with Drake, which debuted with 3 million streams in its opening
industry plant
24 hours on Spotify, not everyone saw it as a good thing for his future. So who are the artists whose careers capsized after getting the call from Drake? And how much is he to blame? When you think of an artist who fell off after getting the Drake feature, they don't come much bigger than Blockboy JB. A Memphis MC who initially garnered attention with tracks like Shoot, Rover featuring 21 Savage, and the dance that Fortnite would later steal, Blockboy JB found himself getting the famed DM from Drizzy, where he claimed he was his favorite rapper.
Favorite rapper.
They would eventually collab on a hit song.
Drake, you make good music, but that's glazing, bro. That's glazing, bro.
Titled Look Alive, and it went crazy when it debuted, as it basically took over the game and quickly landed Blockboy in the XXL freshman list for 2018, as well as a record deal with Interscope. Peaking at number 5 on the Billboard charts, the track's official video now has over 390 million views on YouTube alone. But for all the momentum he had, it's all just evaporated once Drizzy did what he always does and moved on to the next hot thing. When his debut album Fat Boy dropped in 2020, it failed to chart.
Nah, that's disgusting. He looked like Canal Joseph when he was on his Fat Boy thing with like, or his like alternate, or what's it, Eugene? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Let me just stop. Let me just stop right here, right now.
Has his loyal core fans, resulting in 2.4 million listeners on Spotify. He struggled to come to terms with the negative impact that Look Alive had on his career, even when people pointed out to him.
Yeah. Do you feel like you, in some ways, you kind of blew up so fast that
it gave people weird expectations of what was supposed to be coming from you.
Well, to be honest, I feel like I didn't even blow up that fast. It's just like
how
motherfuckers weren't even on me. So I just, when I had
that song,
this song, it blew up. I didn't blow up. The song blew up. So like, people didn't even just know that I had like fucking 4 mixtapes out before this shit. So I always had a grind anyways.
It's interesting he says that because I feel like it's weird because when people get signed, I feel like they always have music before it came out, but you always see like that first big hit. So it always like their whole backstory and everything in their past just gets erased. So that's interesting he says that because he had a bunch in his catalog beforehand, but no one really cared besides that one big song. Like no one really did their due diligence and did research. I be thinking this stuff, man.
So I feel like people just don't understand that.
Even though things aren't in his favor, Blockboy is confident that good things are coming his way. He still believes he'll rise to the top again and will eventually step out of Drake's shadow.
Yeah, they're tuned out, and guess what? They're gonna come back again. If I see like, it's just time. It just take time, and like the longer you keep rapping, and the more you keep going, it's the bigger your fan base get. Like. I know when I first dropped one of my real fans, like I already knew that because every time I look at my comments, we see something about Drake or some shit. But now like the comments change.
What's interesting is that these days, Blockboy is trying to ride the same wave by reaching out to Drake for another collaboration. This time, he didn't just slide into Drake's DMs, but he made it public on his Instagram story saying, "I think it's time for another one at Champagne Poppy." This time around, even Drake's fans recognized that there wasn't much for the Six God to game from teaming up with Blockboy ever again. Some even have gone far as to comment things like, Drake probably avoiding watching that story right now, and Blockboy fell off. No waves to ride there for the boy. Rather than being the megastar that Look Alive set him up to be, Blockboy is now left in obscurity, and his fallout is even being mocked by fellow rappers like Bandman Kevo.
Yeah, he fell out.
That sucks. That's crazy, like how the industry works. Like I've even experienced it myself with like videos that reached out to me like, yo, you trying to do this, but because I'm small, like they don't want to work with me. And that's just like, word, I get it, bro. I get it. It's kind of like, what can you do for me? Like, how can it be like a mutual thing? That's why I know who my core people are off the strength, bro. Like I could reach out at any time, ask them to come anywhere. They got me, bro. You got to know who your real ones are and, you know, who's just for business at the end of the day.
I don't care. He shouldn't have said nothing about me. He fell off. He do not got no money like me. He shouldn't have came at me. He fell off. All that dancing and doing this with the leg shit is over with.
Damn.
It's over with, bro. You don't got it.
Once riding a wave that Drake hopped on, only to jump off before it faded, Blockboy isn't alone in briefly benefiting from Drake's knack for recognizing what's hot in the culture. Sometimes this phenomenon even extends to rappers from Drake's own city, which was the case for a rapper by the name of Smiley. An underground MC from Toronto, Smiley started his career rhyming with the Garden Gang clique. After a 2015 stint in jail derailed his momentum, Smiley got his initial exposure through tracks like 9 on Me, and soon, Drake could be seen rapping his track from the pool.
She might dance, 9 shots in my pants. Or land, that's a label. She want shit with no cable. Now I'm popping and annoying. Wow, I don't join in. Right.
Officially,
I know damn well he didn't enjoy that shit. He knew what he was doing. Nah, bro. There's no way.
On Drake's radar since 2017, he soon signed to Drake's OVO label, and to him, it seemed like the perfect scenario. At that point,
I've heard of him. I bet you he's like his top writer or something like that. Like him and Party just be in the studio with their pen and pad just writing away. They're like, man, yo, get this man his own label, man.
Drake really started pushing him heavily on social media.
I seen a picture with you and Ross, and Drake captions the shit that you're his favorite rapper.
Oh yeah.
Right? What that felt like when you seen that?
It was love. So I already like.
We haven't heard that one before.
He's already said things like that too already. So I was like, I was just surprised he posted that like that, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
With that kind of cosign, he started to believe that he was the one.
Sure, it's like I've finally gotten to embrace everything, like, you know,
that's so messed up.
Understand it, but like I've been like that. I've been asking myself like, why me? But I'm gonna keep asking myself that for how long now? Like, you know?
Yeah, it's me.
You know, but real shit. Why me? But it's just, it's love. Like, that's what's crazy. Cause now I even see what he sees. Real shit. Like, you know, it's crazy. It's like,
he seemed like a real genuine dude too, who was just really just grinding in the city trying to make it out. So, I mean, I don't know what he got going on right now, but I hope he's still working, doing his thing, making money. Cause to just get used like a sponge like that, I know the feeling. I know that feeling. It don't feel good, bro.
I do believe, like.
But unfortunately for Smiley, no one else saw it. And when he finally got the Drake cosign on 2021's Over the Top,
Luis, that was fucked up, bro. That was fucked up. There's no way he just said that, bro.
His flow got clowned by the masses, and everyone pretty much thought he fumbled his opportunity.
Got fresh from the boy and elite. He sent me a new and say use instead. Everything go when he live in that. What am I listening to?
I'm finna get mad, bro, cause this shit, bro. It getting me hot, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
The chill. One of the hardest verses for Drake in a long time, and Smiley does this. Smiley sounds like he has tickle battles with his homeboys. Despite the fact that the track got number 57 on the chart, his 2021 album, Buy or Buy 2, sold abysmally, clocking in at just 1.5k units in its first week. Since then, he's barely been a factor, but has denied falling off, without any real evidence to back it up, aside from the fact that he was chilling on a boat. But falling by the wayside in Drake's
I feel like every artist tries this. They try to mock like, oh, I'm falling off with like some corny little gimmick, and it only just makes it worse because you're telling the people that you hear it and you see it and you acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you just gotta ignore it. You just gotta ignore it and just keep dropping bangers and then eventually just pray and hope they come around, bro.
Priorities after a hit isn't exactly anything new. I mean, just look at what happened to I Love McConan,
going up
who acquired Drake's attention from a self-released project. McConaughey's debut EP popped off, courtesy of tracks like Tuesday and I Don't Sell Molly No More. After putting in a call to producer Sonny Digital, Drizzy got his hands on the track, and suddenly McConaughey's life changed.
Now, when Drake got on it, what did you say?
Oh man, I fainted in the house. You saw that little video.
Damn.
I was like, what the hell happened? You know what I'm saying? I was just tripping with my friends, you know,
that's lit.
smoking weed, hanging out. Somebody tweeted me a link like, oh, that new Drake and I Love McConan is fire. And I just favored it like, oh yeah, that would be dope. He must mean like if me and Drake made a track,
right,
that would be hot. And I was like, yeah, that would be hot.
That would be hot.
OVO page tweeted me and was like, Drake, I Love McConan featuring Drake, Tuesday remix. And I was like, what the hell?
What?
I was like, no way. I met Drake after the show, after watching the show.
Is he even allowed to do that? Like, what happened to like music rights and masters right? Like, what? How could he just, bruh? How did he find them too? Probably Serrano.
Show and shit. And then he came.
Is that the ice cream truck? That was the ice cream truck indeed. All right, back to the video.
Came up to me singing some more lyrics from like I Don't Sell Molly and all that. And I was just like, what? How do you know my music? You know what I'm saying?
Soon after that, McConaughey
he has a script. Drake really got a script to this.
Industry lottery. But just a year after he got signed, the Californian was lifting the lid on the experience and even claimed that Drake threatened to put hands on him at one point. In a lengthy interview with The Fader,
he's not even from
expressly
Toronto.
felt like Drake and his crew were, quote, scared when they saw how easily he could cook up some bangers. Before expressing how he felt betrayed by Drake's camp for the way he was treated when he entered their orbit. Why y'all want to play games? Why didn't y'all just tell me you didn't want to fuck with me anymore and just let me go about my own way? Why did y'all make me chase you all the way the fuck around and make me look like a fucking fool? Why would you do this? I was threatened by others. Someone I so-called look up to saying, we gon' fuck you up the next time we see you. Believing that OVO only signed him because they needed a hot song, McConaughey has stayed on his independent grind. But nothing's ever hit the same since he had this misadventure with OVO. But while there might have always been a ceiling on McConaughey's success anyways, one person who many think has been held back by his association with Drake.
This one is I don't know, because I like P&D's music and I feel like he had the most potential out of all these dogs, man. All of them, bro. And he'll just forever be in Drake's shadow.
is Party Next Door. An R&B pioneer in the eyes of the fans, the fellow Canadian has been clicked up with Drake since 2014. And while The Weeknd...
Don't get me wrong, successful... Oh, I mean, The Weeknd is obviously the most potential. I take that last statement back. But I feel like he was always in Drake's shadow, bro. I really wonder what his solo career could have been like if he never signed with OVO, talking about PND. No cap. Like, I want to know what y'all think about that, too, because, like, PND in the mid-2010s, he went stupid, man. He went stupid.
Refused to sign to OVO, Party Next Door was happy to sign his name on the dotted line. I could go to a label where they don't know how to handle me and they don't care, he said of his decision. Or I'll have a mentor who's been through it, who knows exactly what I want to mean to my city
and it makes sense.
What I want to achieve. They know how to handle your emotions. I'll have freedom and guidance. Even
everything he's saying is making sense here, so I understand the decision. I really do. Like, Drake obviously has a method to what he does to artists to basically cast them in the shadows or just use them just to get what he needs for like that moment, that month, or whatever case may be.
Though he claimed to have all this freedom, he later revealed in an interview that he had to give Drake the track Wednesday Night Interlude for one of his projects, even though he wanted it for himself. But there's no denying that Drake made a really big impact for him. In 2016, Come and See Me got him onto the charts. And in 2019, Loyal became his biggest commercial success so far. But there's times where PND's frustration with his role at OVO has boiled over, particularly when it comes to writing for other artists.
I'm 23, but I feel 43, you know what I mean? That's something to write for these other people.
PND has faced criticism for either sharing his hits with Drake or finding his biggest successes alongside him. He once tweeted and deleted his plans to leave the label after one more album in November of 2020 when he wrote, "One more album, then I'll tell y'all what it's like." But now that so much time has passed, it's hard to imagine that even as talented as he is, that he could ever reach the full potential he had before wasting valuable time on the shelf at OVO. As for others, the Drake cosign seemed to come at the perfect time, only to be unable to capitalize. This was definitely the case for Young Blue, an Alabama artist who initially made waves back in 2017 with Miss It.
I didn't know he signed.
Always had clear.
I'm Frederica, I'm 33 years old, and I've been using Kickoff for 1 year. It was just a few dollars.
I didn't even know Young Blue signed for real.
When his buzz started to take a little dip, having Drizzy hop on 2020's Your Mind Still changed everything for him. Before that, he was battling to get a fair deal from record labels and almost signed his life away on what would have been a terrible contract. But the minute that he was seen next to Drizzy, he suddenly had leverage.
The deal they was offering me, it was like a lot of projects involved in that, like, and I was just like, man, I ain't got no other choice, like, man. I'm just finna take the opportunity, huh?
Like three projects or so?
Like 4. And they wanted my old masters. You know
hell to the fucking no.
And it was a number like 250 type shit. You feel
2.5 mil?
No. 250,000. Like advance. Okay, just put it in perspective, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know a lot about music and contracts, but the way that sounds is he gets the label gets all the old masters and the new like current tracks and stuff, and 200K, like what? Like that's a lot of money, but there's a lot of mouths I need to get fed in that 200K, and then he has to pay all that back and then some. So that, from just the sounds of that, if that's accurate, that just sounds like highway robbery, bro.
Like before the Drake record dropped, well, soon as the Drake record dropped, I was having bidding wars between $8 and $9 million.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
The lead single from his album Moon Boy, the record peaked at number 12, and soon after, he was blowing up like crazy. But to this day, Your Mind Still has doubled the plays of his next most popular song. And while albums like 2023's Love Scars 2 did alright, he still hasn't been able to get a hit that comes anywhere close to the impact of the collab with the Six God. Through these artists, we get a glimpse into the potential negative effects of getting the Drake stimulus package. But why does this
stimulus
happen
package
to so
is still
many of
wild?
them? And who exactly is to blame? Drake's critics often suggest that there are hidden reasons behind his collaborations. Since his rise to fame, he's faced accusations of capitalizing on others' sounds or leveraging their hype for his own gain. Back in 2015, when he first started signing Kodak Black, Earl Sweatshirt called him a vulture on Twitter, where he wrote, "I still feel like Drake's overall statement isn't 'check this new shit I heard.' It's always self-serving." And a lot of people agree. Drake obviously embraces the curator/trendsetter persona, and he's decent enough at it. But it doesn't ever seem like he manages long-term working relationships with these artists he quote-unquote discovers. Whether it's Dej Loaf, Fetty, or McConan, it feels like nothing can happen in hip-hop without him. He's a vampire. But according to Drake, it's nothing...
Or quote-unquote culture vulture. That's crazy. I didn't even know about the Yak cosign back in 2015, but that's really when he started to pop off with like No Flocking and well, I'm done with you, girl. I don't even remember, bro. Yo, there's so much music that be going on, and Drake's a crazy nigga, bro.
As sinister as that, whether it's UK rap or Afrobeat he's tapping into, it's just because he's a music lover.
I like to enjoy what's going on, man. I appreciate like all these young people creating all these things. You know, it takes some real energy and synergy to like create a good song.
Yeah.
Like I hate that people think that like me being like into music from these kids that are trying to like make it and trying to build a name for themselves is like, oh, that's some culture vulture. Like I don't understand what that means.
Yeah.
Would you rather be like not
exactly
like, acknowledge anything or support? Like that's some hater shit, but it is what it is. I see it a lot, and I guess people have their own outlook on it.
But it's fair to say that not everyone thinks it's as straightforward as that. In the eyes of the TDE rapper Daylight, he'll just use them up and throw them away.
We live in an era where people need to suck other people's juice.
Who is TDE though, chat? Who is it? Comment down below.
So they're gonna make friends with him, especially you know who. He's gonna make friends with him. He's gonna try to do a song with him and feed off of him like he does every up and coming rapper. What's gonna happen is they're gonna get on your records, they're gonna take your style, and they're gonna blow up, and then when you dry out, they're gonna keep going.
And when you look at the careers of people like Blockboy JB,
damn, he sounds like he witnessed it firsthand.
And McConnon, he might have a point. Then you have the problems he faces with the artists on his label. Similar to P&D's experience, there's a feeling that many of the artists are fueling the Drake machine. OVO's Majid Jordan once described a studio setup that was way more similar to a boot camp than it was to a recording session, where artists are secluded, working tirelessly on projects without outside contact. The result? Well, it gave us hits like Just Hold On, We're Going Home, which, as many of you know, is one of Drake's most popular tracks. But it's stories like this that alter some fans' perceptions to the point that they believe Drake operates a musical sweatshop disguised as a label. So when his newest signee, Forbats, joined, they were trying to warn him about what to expect. Welcome to the sweatshop. Your stay is indefinite.
Oh my
God.
God.
Drake stan academics, there are definitely problems that arise from the Drake stimulus package.
Drake has successfully cleared himself of a number 2. This was artistry and wizardry at its finest. Hear me out. Drake rocked all these newcomers to sleep that could be possibly an incumbent. Okay, little baby. All right, bet. You know, see, Drake never hates on the new guy. He just shows him overly love and almost gets credit for the new guy come up. Then after a while, he steps away from the nigga and shit never looks the same.
But when it comes down to it, Drake...
I mean, you can't put any better words, and that's a Drake meat writer right there in academics. What you mean?
Drake is ultimately free to give a feature to whoever he wants, and if they're not on his label, he doesn't owe them anything else. In fact, while it might give these rappers a buzz in wake of the track dropping, it's not his job to give them a whole career.
No, that's fair. He don't owe them a whole career at all. But it's just ironic. It's just ironic because. You feel me? We don't know intention at the end of the day, but you can see patterns, and that's the pattern of what he does. But I feel like at this point, people like Forbats, you should know what's really going down at this point. So if he wanted to sign, he wanted to sign. He signed the dotted line. It's his choice, his career. But that'll conclude for today's video. If y'all like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. If you want me to do more rap-oriented content or just reactions in general, let me know. But peace, and I'll see y'all till next time.
They can't stop me, they can't hold me. 2-4, bitch, I'm great like Kobe. You ain't gang, you remind me of the police.